What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Cars at the Ball, bringing you more Infinite Magicraid content. Now, before we get into this content, which is a tier list without exclusives, I'm going to add that right now. I'm going to say it again in a moment. But please do click like, subscribe, and comment below to help the channel grow. Let me know your thoughts on this tier list. What do you think? Do you think it's accurate? It's been discussed with actually quite a few people. Once again, ACOS, of course. We had Bamzo as well on this one. Bailey's been busy, so we haven't asked Bailey. But this is without exclusives, all right? So there's no exclusives in this. This is if you just got the hero, all right? So you're going to see the things like a mythic down here and certain things. It's a PvE tier list only. The order they are in is in no representation that they are better than each other. The list they are in, say the bracket, God, S+, S, A+, A, and B, is that they're basically the same, all right? So don't think because, say, Charu is here and Karad is over there, that Karad is better, all right? That they're based on the same, all right? So we're going to go from right to left. We're not going to do every single hero like I did in an hour-long movie like on my other ones. Unless I continue to talk like this, then it probably will be that long. So we'll just see how we get on. So first up is the B bracket. Obviously, Carrie, Hal, Amlik, and Shoulder. Not really doing anything for us right now. They're not really used anywhere. Maybe something will happen. I don't know. Keep hold of them. Keep hold of all your legends, all right? Don't go feeding any of them because new information comes to light, a patch happens, and all of a sudden, you want them again. And yeah, just please never, ever, 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 ever feed any of your epics, okay? Unless you're a whale or a kraken and you know that you don't really need them in your team lineup, but you probably will for Faction Abyss. So you're probably going to regret it anyway. Okay. So we're going up to A bracket, which is I liked, which actually she will be good in Faction Abyss, all right? Not really much elsewhere, but she gives things like resist buff up and stuff like that. Solly, who again doesn't really excel in PvE. Zach Zulu, who is really underwhelming, which is a shame because he looks like a beast, all right? He looks like a beast. Teru, which is the new Forester, max health, damage dealer, intertwined, kind of selfish tree looking dude. He's just not doing anything for me, especially at no exclusives. He would be in B. Really, I like it. Was close between B and A, but he may, you know, carried, unfortunately, without the exclusives again. He's not really doing a lot, but you possibly can use him in Faction Abyss for, say, removing a shield. There's not really a lot else he brings to the table. Naskama is again more of a PvP hero. He's not really doing anything for us in PvE. We have Valentine, who, as you know, does drop off. All right, in the beginning he may look, you know, he may do well, he may be cool, but without exclusives, just don't even waste your time. All right, don't even waste your time. Elena is without exclusives, again, is not great. She's one of those that with exclusives will improve. Frick, unfortunately, doesn't really offer us a lot in PvE either without any exclusives. Anna is super underwhelming. She just doesn't really do anything. Even with exclusives, I'll add, Anna doesn't do a lot. Aisha, yeah, okay, some people still probably going to be mad about Aisha because you probably like her, but she's just not used enough. She's not good enough, especially not about any exclusives. Now, a mythic, Brynhild. She can be used in the likes of Faction Abyss. Other than that, in PvE, you're not going to use her. She's definitely more of a PvP-based hero. Zyra, again, she is more PvP-based, and she is not going to be fantastic for you in PvE, especially without exclusives. Mai, which is a lot of people are going to be surprised to see her down this far. PvE, she's not really used a lot other than Faction Abyss, if I'm honest, you know, and Guild Boss as well, but you're going to want exclusives. You know, that's just the way it is. Jennifer is a nice AoE damage dealer. She can rightly sit in A+. A+ is still a good bracket, by the way, guys. It's better than A and B. You know, these are all usable still. She can do some nice damage. Eric, we're not big on Eric. He's not really fantastic. This is the thing. I'm just going to be saying he's not really fantastic. I'm not going to be going through each and every skill right now because, you know, it's not really going to get anyone anything. Ariel is okay. slightly underwhelming, if I say so myself, compared to what's above. Mai can do some. She again has no multipliers that really bring a lot to the table, and the only thing that she can do is we have debuffs on, which then causing 80% attack damage at the end of the turn, which is, you know, okay. A Gramdy, I feel like Gramdy deserves to be an A plus because of his freeze, his speed down, his kind of crowd control that he's got going on. Definitely going to be used in Faction Abyss. His Sorrow without exclusives as well, PvE, he's not doing quite enough. You kind of need at least one exclusive on Hisaro to be getting anything out of him. Now, Melina is in between, really. She does some heals and she does, you know, a bit of a buff, but she's, yeah, you need a lot of gear to make Melina worth it. You need a lot of gear, and it's not worth putting your resources into this hero. Without any exclusives. You would need her exclusive free. Timmy has gone up a tier. He is actually pretty good. He's definitely very good for Red Mark Tower. He has some pretty, you know, he debuffs shields. Exclusive 1, he would go up a tier. I'll tell you that now. He'll go up a tier because he can steal the shield of the enemy, you know, and give it to all allies. It's pretty nasty. Sinton is a taunter. Yeah, he's more PvP based. He can help keep your team alive. You know, he's still a good choice if you're in PvE. He can still help. Lamb has gone down a bracket on the exclusives because he doesn't need exclusives to really excel. Gustav is sitting in A+ for me because Gustav had a rework, and you know what? He's actually looking useful. So don't think that your Gustav is useless because he's not. He's sitting next to Gunner here on the same bracket as Gunner, and Gunner is pretty useful as well. He can do some nasty damage. He can strip shield. He can cause burn and health burn on taking damage. Gunner is a good hero, and if you're struggling against shielded enemies, you know, he does just make sure he's in defense gear. That's the main thing. Defense gear, some mastery, and affect it. Natalia, now, I have high hopes for Natalia. I do. I feel like she could be something. There could be a combination of a bleed team with her, and, you know, with exclusives again. I know we're talking about exclusives. This is a no exclusive tier list. I appreciate that. I just wanted to cover her because she does look pretty impressive. Gru will, you know, help keep your team alive a bit, but we all know Gru needs exclusives to be good. Vera can help, especially with the crit rate up on your team. She can help in quite a few areas if you're struggling with other supports, but there are better supports than Vera, but she definitely is selective. She's a niche kind of selection. Nasil is without exclusives, not ideal, but he's still useful. He's still useful because of that freeze and the protection on allies. He can still grant you some control, so don't rule him out. Margarita, there's just better epic options if she's not got any exclusives on, and that's why she's an A+. She doesn't do enough damage. I would, you know, rate her very similar to Jennifer here, without any exclusives. Don't get me wrong, she's fantastic, she's great, but without the exclusive one that is really needed, she sits in A+. Besmok is a very heavily dependent exclusive hero. You may have seen the Guild Boss nuke that we did, but remember that was an E5 Besmok, right? E0, you know, there's better options. Cindo, E0, there is better options. She's going to help you in campaign still. She's going to help you in campaign, but anywhere else in the game, you're not going to use her. You're not going to use her for thing. You may use her in Faction Abyss. Okay, Faction Abyss and campaign is where Cindo will help you in PvE. Other than that, she's not going to do a lot. PvP, obviously, she's a god. We all know that. Okay, we all know that. And she's coming up in this the hero rate up event. So make sure you get her. Make sure you get her because she is a wonderful hero. Now, Magdalena, S tier. To me, I know these are mythics here, guys. These are mythics, you know, Lucaia, Ulcaster, Malkio, Nita, and Magdalena, but they're more, without the exclusives, they're not as shining compared to the ones above, alright? They're just not. They're much more, PvP based. They really are. Lucaia can be very nice in Guild Boss for damage, but then you're still going to want to have the likes of one of these above here over a Lucaia. And, you know, when we're thinking about our mythic fragments, they're rare to come across. So don't go choosing any of these for PvE content if this is what you have. Or just don't. There is better options. You'll see those above. And yeah, so trust me, don't shoot me. Garena is a good hero in S tier here. She can help your team revive. She can do some damage. She is useful. Hoff is another very useful AoE damage dealer who can help with health burns. He can cause, I think is it effect resistance down? I believe that's what it is. I'm just talking off the top of my head here, guys. Right? I have gone through everything, trust me. I just struggle to have all that in my head. There's a lot of characters here. So I may not get that exactly right, but that's my representation of Hoff. He is very useful and he can complement a lot of your team members. Walter, again, he's a poison damage dealer. He is good. He does deal some nasty damage. Definitely someone that you should build if you have him in your slot. You know, pair him up with the likes of Taff. Pair him up with the likes of Taff, that'll really help. Slaval is very good. She's a single target nuker. She really starts to excel with exclusives, however, but she is still good without exclusives. The fact that she can grant attack up to the rest of our allies. She can single target nuke. So definitely, Slaval is great. Horus is good. He is great. You know, he's just not. He's not boom. You know, he can do things like healing down, and he can AoE once, which isn't a huge amount of damage. He can single target nuke as well. But again, you're going to want to have the exclusives. And with what we have, comparing all of these without exclusives, later on, we're going up this tier list. You're going to, you know, you understand why these other heroes are above. Yoko, again, she is good. She can deal some nice damage, but she does need exclusives. Alahan is a good healer. He's a good support. He can neutralize he can, Jesus, what's wrong with me? He can, make everyone's health equal to the highest health on your team. So if you have someone at 100% health, someone at 10%, or everyone at 10%, one person at 100%, everyone will be 100%, basically. He can also remove shields on his second ability and his basic ability, so that's nice. Guhana is a very nice support healer. She does a lot for your team. Definitely, if you have Guhana, you know, use her. She is very good. I really like Guhana. Greta is in S tier here, and that's because of her effect resistance for the team and herself. As a passive ability, it's going to increase your effect resistance when that's upgraded. She can also freeze your pinpoint enemies. She can deal some nice damage, and she will definitely help you progress the game because, you know, that effect resistance, people, we're not taking bleeds, we're not taking burns, poisons, health burns, control. So definitely maybe try and utilize her into your team as a kind of support but an attack as well. Don't just think that she's pure attack. She's not. She has a nice passive there. Slack, though, again, is really dependent on his exclusives, but he can still do some nice damage, and he can strip. He can strip buffs, not strip, you know, all right? Slackdo is pretty cool and he does AoE damage. Taff, again, is a really nice hero, causing intertwined poisons, healing over time for our allies, which is very nice. Mewtwo, who can do some really nice single target damage. He does get nasty damage in the exclusives. So Mewtwo is definitely someone you can build mid-roll, causing AoE bleeds. Well, I said AoE, it's randomly selecting enemies to bleed. He can deal some nice damage. He will help you through some of the game, but there are better options above, okay? Sana, again, she's really easy to gear. She self-buffs crit rate 50%. Now, that's pretty nice in itself. She'll then AoE. And she can just, you know, she's easy to build. It's going to help. It's going to help because she is easy to build. And that's why she's rightly sitting in S here without any exclusives. Megan here is a nice hero, a nice addition to the game. She can cause some debuffs that we need AoE. So that's nice. She can also cause some pretty nasty single target damage. Serena takes a little while to build up some feathers, but once she does, she will do some crazy damage against the enemy. So definitely a very good AoE option here. Definitely better than Margarita at exclusive 0. Olga, now you're gonna need a control hero with Olga, okay? The likes of, say, Asindo, the likes of Zyra, Fiona, Nasil, Randy, anyone that's causing crowd control, freeze, silence, that kind of thing, stuns. Ben Austin here can help. He's more PvP. I'm putting him in between here because he is still usable with certain team builds. He is a mythic, but definitely not my first choice by any means. Elena is a really nice self-buffing bleed damage dealer. Counter-attack, self-affect it up by 50%, causing multiple bleeds to the enemy. She can really help you progress. Zia, obviously everyone loves Zia. She's a nuker herself. She will squat for you. She will squat for you, and she will nuke. Focaz, obviously everyone loves Focaz as well because he's resetting all of our turn timers. One person's turn timers, increasing their damage by 40% attack up, and resetting all of their skills. So that could be really useful. Don't just think it's for the likes of Azir or damage dealers. Really consider using it with the likes of Hizonia, Melia, Okmin. If you're desperate, use it on a healer. I don't know. There is a lot of variety to use with Focus. Now, Turf is moving up to S+, without any exclusives. We know why. We did solo content on him, completely exclusive free. Soloed up to level 19 of Blue Mark Tower. He will help you progress the game early on as well. You know, if you pull a Turf, use him. He's so much better than Holder. You know, things like people rating Holder. You have a Turf, use him all day long. He's great. He will help you a lot. He, self-buffing shield, counter attack, causing a nice amount of attack damage and poisons as well on top. So don't just focus for affect it and mastery and attack. Consider having some crit rate too, because it does help. He does do a nice amount of damage. Space, obviously she's free, she's amazing. She increases turn meter speed down, reduces turn meter as well. She's just fantastic. She's great and a fantastic addition to any team. Luz is a great hero. He can AoE, he will leech, he will survive, he will help carry you a certain amount of distance as well. He's also very good later on in the game. So really all of these on here are very equal in power. Dario again is a nasty nuker, and then when he kills someone with Shadow Flame, he will then shoot onto another person, so he is very good. He does get better obviously with exclusives. We will be doing an exclusive tier list, by the way, guys, please bear with me. And Fiona is obviously she controls with AoE stun. She can resurrect an ally, which is massive. She has crowd control immunity, so she's just a great addition to your team, especially because we don't have any resurrections other than Luna, and not everyone has Luna right now. Not everyone has Luna right now, but we are moving up to God now. We are moving up to God, and Luna is definitely everyone's first choice, in my opinion. I don't, even at late game, she is still fantastic. She's never going to drop off. She is going to be used all the time. All late dungeons you can use her. She's great, not only PvE but PvP as well. So Luna is always a very safe option. Without any exclusives, which is what this is. Lucifer, again, is a great option for pure attacking damage. He is a nuker. He's a nasty nuker, and he's a very good nuker. That's why he's a mythic. That's why he's Lucifer. So if you have Lucifer is always a good option. Nordak is a great support hero. He will help keep your team alive. He can do a lot, can Nordak. So Nordak, honestly, the way I look at this is Luna first, Lucifer second, Nordak third. That's how I will pick my mythics. I know people will disagree. I know that. So yeah, you can disagree and shake your head at me saying, Kazakh, no. But this is how I feel. These are my top 3 selections. Luna, Lucifer, Nordak, and then Ben Austin. So moving on is Sigmund, of course. He is just a fantastic. He's tanky. He can deal health burns. He can counter attack. He's a fantastic hero. Catherine, obviously, when you complete campaign mode or you get to a certain point in towers, she is brilliant. She counterattacks your whole team, shields them. Consolidation, she also causes feebleness. She's a great hero. Alec is still a god, all right? Exclusive 0, he's a god. And I will rant right now because people that are putting Alec as B, you literally have no clue. Why are you doing that? Seriously, he is amazing. Defense up to 60%. Tenacity up, 30% less crit damage. Consolidation 2, which is 40% less damage for your entire team. These are all things on exclusive 0. Also, he will take 3 debuffs off your main or highest attacking hero on your team. He will take 3 debuffs that get cast onto them. So your main attacker is never, ever, 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 ever gonna be in a position where they're debuffed and they're causing less damage. That in itself is massive as well. It can also cause stuns by 15% on its basic attack. That as well is huge. With exclusives, it just gets better and better and better. So Alec rightly sits in God tier there. And if you have him, use him with the likes of Hardak, Sigmund, anyone that's using defense, Gunner, anyone that uses defense, really do utilize Alec with them. It really helps. Zonya, obviously, the health burn king, exploding, causing more health burn damage as well. He's fantastic. Okmin, resetting or the duration of health burns, causing 5 random hits on his ultimate. And you know, spread damage as well on his basic ability, spreading the health burn. He's a great hero. Milia, obviously everyone knows she's great. We all know when she goes into Valkyrie, she turns into a Valkyrie goddess. So she is very good, and that's all without exclusives. So no exclusives on any of these. This is where I rate them. I hope that helps you. I hope you don't disagree. I hope you're happy with what is here. And I promise you, you will get an exclusive upgraded tier list because we have tested so many now. We're really getting a lot of knowledge on the exclusives, and we're going to have to draft in some of the big boys who have been using these heroes with exclusives, who've actually tested and know if they're good and not just saying that they're good or bad. All right. That's the difference. Having them tested, used them. No one can really comment on a hero unless they've tested them themselves. That's why we're seeing these switches in the tier list. Why we see people move up and down, and why we're seeing the difference in tier lists. But it's up to you guys to use every bit of knowledge a content creator gives you, and use your own knowledge at the same time. Don't just trust everything someone tells you. Right? People can be wrong. We're human. I've many a time been wrong. All right, I have. I'll happily own that. But I'm only going to tell you what I feel is right at that time. And if I feel it's right, then that's how I feel, and that's what I'll always share. So I'm Kazakhnable. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click like, subscribe, and comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Take care, everyone.